Well, hello everyone, and welcome to our webinar. Let's get started. Today's webinar is called The Solo Librarian's Secret Weapon: How to Boost Engagement and Make Your Library Irresistible. A long heading because it is going to be jam-packed with some great tips, tricks, and ideas on how you can boost engagement. So let's get started. My name is Susanna and I work as a marketing researcher here at SoftLink IC, and I will be your host for today's webinar. So what do you think? Should we get started? Let's kick off. What webinar would be complete without some cute little cats to get us started? Now, solo librarians wear many hats. You are the marketer, the manager, the tech support, and the librarian all in one. Shout out to all the solo librarians who've joined us today. Now, without a marketing team, you really must be proactive in making sure that your library's value is seen and understood by your patrons, users, customers, borrowers, whoever you're going to call them, or whatever you're going to call them, I should say. Even small, consistent efforts to promote your services can create a significant change in engagement over time. And that is what we're looking at today. Libraries succeed when patrons use their services. Now, that's a no-brainer. Without a consistent engagement strategy, your work may go unnoticed, no matter how good it is. Engagement also ensures that the library stays relevant within your organisation. Now, we don't want to become irrelevant. Let's not go to that dark place because we don't need to think about what that would mean for the future of your library, research centre, or research team. Promoting library services maximises the chance that your resources are being fully utilised. Now, it's not just about getting new patrons, borrowers, customers, users, whatever we're going to call them, but also about keeping your current ones informed and engaged. Having said that, let's see what we are up to today. Today is all about ideas to boost engagement and make your library irresistible, hence my very long webinar title. Today we're going to cover what's on the menu. How can we serve up our library's best kept secrets? How do we get that library buzz going? How can we network like a pro? Now, stick with me. You'll notice in the brackets, even if you're an introvert. So I promise it's not scary. And welcoming people aboard. How do we turn those new patrons into lifelong fans? We're going to cover some out-of-the-box ideas to make your library unforgettable and talk about going digital. How can you rock your library's online presence like a social media star? And then to wrap it all up, we'll talk about how we can keep that party going. What will be the next steps you're going to take to a thriving library? So let's have a look at our irresistible idea number one. What's on the menu? Serving up your library's best kept secrets. Now, the reality is that many don't fully understand what our libraries offer, especially with an increasing focus on digital services and opportunities to borrow and share resources from other libraries or research centres. When you're letting people know what you do, remember to use clear and non-technical language. And I've got a couple of great examples coming up. It does involve a little bit of a mind shift. And this is my first challenging idea, I guess. Think of your services as a product that you want to sell to your potential users. So when you talk about what you do, you could start simplifying your complex services and offerings. So instead of saying access to digital databases, what about if you started talking about access to thousands of ebooks, articles, and research tools from anywhere? Much more accessible. Now, the old chestnut of, well, we offer interlibrary loans. I'm going to challenge you today to start thinking a little bit differently. What about if you started saying that you could get material from other libraries so you don't have to look anywhere else? That subtle change in jargon and technical language to much more accessible language helps people understand what you're offering. It helps clarify your services. What if we created a menu of services? So, developing a menu to show what you offer. It should answer key questions like, what do I need? And how can the library help me? Now, added bonus here for those solo librarians who've tuned in, what a great time-saving feature this would be. Once you've created a menu of services, it's going to be easy, clear, and simple for you to share. Break those services into categories such as research help, digital resources, physical collections, workshops, and the like. You get the idea. Just like a menu at your favourite restaurant or dining spot is often broken up into appetizers, entrees, mains, desserts, and drinks. Once you're happy with it, remember to distribute it. The menu needs to get out through lots of different channels. PDF via an email, a physical flyer, a poster. Remember to also include it on your website or intranet, or especially your library's homepage. Speaking of distribution, remember once it's out there, promote it. Think of these materials that you've created as a subtle reminder of what you offer. Even in this digital age, physical reminders can be very effective. Posters highlighting a specific service, like, did you know we help with research projects, might catch someone's eye as they're waiting for the coffee machine. Now it's time for our second tip, library buzz, how to network like a pro, even if you're an introvert. So stay tuned. Oh, and also stay tuned for some terrible puns. Are you ready? Be visible and start conversations. Do this during informal interactions such as lunch breaks, meetings, a water cooler catch up. You get the idea. This kind of networking is incidental networking. Casual conversations can be gold mines for engagement. When someone asks, what's new at the library? Be ready to share a new service or resource. Try and attend staff meetings, new staff orientation, department gatherings, anything you can get to keep the library in the conversation. Incidental networking is a little bit of a hidden gem as far as I'm concerned. As I mentioned, try to get into these meetings, squeeze your way in. And even if you don't get a chance to be part of the formal proceedings, try to hang around for the before or after. Be ready to have a chat with someone because remember, what's new in the library is your in. Be ready. Share something new or share something interesting. Another tip for networking like a pro, even if you're an introvert, is to cultivate relationships with key individuals who can help you advocate for the library. Look for someone influential in the organisation who frequently uses the library. As a solo librarian, you're looking for someone to do the share, wait a minute, let's try that again. You're looking for someone to share the load on the networking front. Ask them to mention library services in their own meetings or when interacting with colleagues. We all know how powerful word of mouth marketing can be. It affects us in our outside the library lives. So why not bring a little bit of that into your day to day? Now, our third suggestion to make your library irresistible is to wow your existing patrons and turn new ones into lifelong fans. Now, straight up, you should have a customer-focused homepage. Your online portal should highlight services that are the most relevant to your users, new, old, existing, or just friends you haven't met yet. Whether they're researchers, legal professionals, or scientists, that homepage should really pack a punch. It should give a real wow when they first visit. Customize the library homepage or landing page based on user needs. For example, a legal team or a legal practitioner might want to see a section on popular databases, while researchers might want to see tools for research or publishing. Try to regularly update this content and ensure that people can always have a reason to check back. New arrivals, featured resources, or how about some seasonal tips? Everybody becomes a little frantic during reporting season, so why not take that opportunity to pop up a tip? Time for the annual report? Here's how the library can help. Keep this a dynamic space where there's always going to be something to bring people back. The next idea would be to simplify the enrolment process for new patrons. Provide an easy to understand welcome kit. Give them everything they need to get started and navigate back to that homepage. What if you provided an orientation guide that included how to access digital databases, how to borrow items, and how to get research help? Offer orientation sessions for new or maybe rusty patrons and do that either in person or on a video call. Now, even better, if you're a solo librarian, time is so precious. So why not record a short welcome to the library video? Now, that's a great way to work smarter and not harder as a solo librarian. The third way that you could wow your existing patrons and turn new ones into lifelong fans is to keep them informed with curated alerts based on their special interests. This can be especially appealing to busy professionals or researchers. Any ILS worth its salt should do this. Now, as a solo librarian, this is a great way to use system automation to your advantage. And if you're one of our amazing SoftLink IC customers and would like to know more about current awareness services, please get in touch. We'd love to hear from you. Well, I kind of got on my high horse there a little bit, but let's continue. One last thing about current awareness services or CAS. Use your ILS to personalize alerts about new books, articles, resources in that person's area of interest. For example, you could send a monthly update to staff about the latest research that's relevant to their field. This adds value by showing patrons that the library is proactive in supporting their needs. Fourth idea for those of you keeping track. So we've got 2 left. Here's another idea on how to boost engagement with out-of-the-box ideas to make your library unforgettable. So the first one is to organise quirky or memorable events that attract attention and engage participation. Now you're probably thinking, what would they be? Good news. Let's run through some. What about a themed day? Address attention to a specific service or collection. Dress as your favourite author or dress as the season you're in. That's going to draw some attention to your library. What about a scavenger hunt? Hide some small prizes, chocolate, I'm looking at you, around the library to give some clues and lead people on a bit of a discovery of new sections or new material. This is easy to do, even if you're a solo librarian, because you don't even have to be there. And what about a mobile library day? Take your services to where the patrons are. Set up a mini library or a pop-up library in a high traffic area, such as lunchrooms, cafeterias, the lobby, or a nice open plan area where you know you're going to get lots of foot traffic. Secondly, use some incentives like prizes or goodie bags to encourage library usage. What about if you organised a raffle or a contest where patrons can earn entries by checking materials out, physically or digitally, or attending workshops, seminars, or information sessions? What about branded giveaways? Everybody loves swag. What about bookmarks, pens, or even chocolate? Visit our library and get some chocolate. That 3 o'clock pick-me-up never looked better. Now, the last out-of-the-box idea to boost engagement in your library is to design a mascot that symbolises the library and can appear in marketing campaigns, social media posts, and even in-person events. This is Alex. He's our research librarian and an alpaca. He's very eye-catching and a great conversation starter. He has his own landing page and you can reach that via the QR code on the screen. You can find out more about Alex the alpaca. Use this mascot in fun ways. Have them appear in posters, online promotions, or even dress up as them during events. The mascot you create can become a recognisable figure for your library, and it's a playful, light-hearted way to get engagement. Now, for those of you keeping track, we are up to idea number 5. Let's see how going digital and rocking your library's online presence can make you a social media star and boost engagement. Now, any social media platforms that you have access to can help you do this. And I know not all of you are allowed to access or create social media pages, but we're creative people, we're clever people. Let's think a little bit laterally about this. What internal platforms do you have that mimic social media? So have you got access to Viva Engage? Could you create a channel in Microsoft Teams? Can you use any of these places to mimic a social media-like presence? Post regular updates on new arrivals, events, and quirky facts about your collection. What if you ran a themed campaign like Throwback Thursday and included historical library or corporate images? A great way to get the conversation started about your collection. What about Meet the Staff posts? They're always really popular. You could even share some info about that mascot that you're going to create. If you're a solo librarian, what about a fortnightly series about terrific research tips? The opportunities are endless. What if you also used email campaigns and newsletters? You could probably automate these to share some great news and highlight what's new. Remember to keep them short but impactful and create a bit of consistency. What about a regular campaign that had a few curated resource highlights, some information on upcoming workshops, and some patron testimonials? A great way to share some news. Use an engaging subject line to make sure that you get people in. What about 5 new resources to check out this week? And for those of you keeping track, there's the second of my terrible puns in this webinar. Make it simple for patrons to access your resources using QR codes on physical or digital productions. This one takes you to our Contact Us page. So if you need to contact us, all you need to do is scan that QR code, fill in some details, and we'll get in touch. How easy is that? Simples. Now, here is a really, really easy way to do it, because any of you who've come to our webinars, you'll know we are all about practical tips and tricks. Visit sharemylibrary.app. It's free and easy for you to use. You can create your own QR codes with an image, whether you add that in or pick one of the existing ones, and then you can share away. Distribute this QR code on flyers, bookmarks, posters, or even an email signature block that leads directly to the library catalogue, online tutorials, or digital collections. Users can quickly scan this code to access services on your homepage. This is really useful if you don't have a physical library or for users who don't regularly make contact with you. One QR code can take them exactly where you need to go. So for those of you who've been keeping track, that was 5 ways that you can boost engagement and make your library, knowledge, or research centre irresistible. So let's wrap up and rewind a little bit and have a think about the ways that maybe you can keep engaging your patrons or get started. So today in our webinar, the Solo Librarian's Secret Weapon, How to Boost Engagement and Make Your Library Irresistible, the long title reflected the jam-packed ideas that we shared. We talked about simplifying your library's offering with a clear, enticing menu that showcases everything that you provide, free of jargon and technical terms. We had a look at how you can build engagement by leveraging formal and informal conversations and meetings. And we also advocated the value of a library champion, someone that can help you share that networking load and spread the word. We talked about impressing patrons with a seamless onboarding experience and personalising services tailored to their needs, department, unit, or practice. And a little bit out there, I know, but we talked about hosting quirky events and using creative incentives, introducing a mascot even, to make your library stand out. It's all about being memorable. Give people a reason to think back and make contact. Our 5th idea to make your library irresistible was about boosting visibility and engagement using social media campaigns, email campaigns, and QR codes. ShareMyLibrary.app is the spot you can go to make a free one to connect with patrons and your resources seamlessly. So the key to your library's success, to boosting and growing that engagement, or even starting that road on growing engagement, is consistency. Small efforts to promote your services can and will build engagement over time. So why not pick one of the ideas we mentioned today and run with it? See where it will take you and your library. I can't thank you enough for joining us today. And I really hope that you got some ideas today about how you can boost engagement at your library, knowledge, or research centre. If we can help at all, remember you can visit our website, the details are on the screen, or why not scan this QR code and see where it takes you. Thank you again for joining us today. And again, if there's anything we can do to help, we'd love you to reach out. Thanks again. See you next time.